And I heard that she wanted so both me, she be on top of cooking with it, show me some more. How I know. Here. Shoot the chest. So I was, hey, shot. Say came to my office that day in that moment.
Hi. I think you're muted.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
How
go.
are you? Great.
How are
How are
you?
you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Yeah, I text you. This is my personal number, so that's probably why I didn't check the other one. But anyways, I appreciate you being flexible. So, okay, let me get this pulled up. So give me the backstory a little bit. Like, how did you find us?
God, I've been looking for a long time. I mean, not looking for a long time. I've been thinking about it for a long time. Okay. I've
Okay.
known about you years ago, and I have been receiving message, marketing from another email address.
Okay.
So I have, I have checked a couple of programs, and I decided, you know what, let me go at the source, because from what I understand, you guys are the one who trained all these other guys that are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so that's how.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No, that's awesome. I mean, we've been around for a long time. I'll give you my backstory a little bit because I was kind of smiling because I've been around for a long time doing this too. So I've known Dan, the guy who started all of this, since college. So like I knew him when he sold cars, basically. So we're from Oregon, originally. And I used to be a teacher. And
You said a teacher? You used to be a teacher?
yeah, I used to be a teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I used to be a teacher. I taught 5th grade for a little bit, and then my daughter was 2 at the time, and then I found out I was having twins. This was back in 2015. So
Okay.
I was like, whoa, okay, life, I gotta stay home. I have 3 kids under 3. Like, I can't go back to work. It doesn't make sense financially, logistically, none of it. So that's when I called Dan because I knew what he was doing, from a friend perspective, like, oh, it's Dan and, he's doing some internet thing. Like that's, whatever. That's what I thought. But, life makes you pivot. And that's when I needed to find something. So I called him and, I said, what is it? And when he explained it to me, it just made sense, at a very basic level. Cause again, I didn't have a background in this stuff. I mean, I knew how to teach, so, I knew businesses needed leads and like, I knew I need something, I go on and I Google it. So, I mean, like, I'm like, how hard can it be? And anyways, so, I was like, if Dan can do it, I can do it. So here we are, right? It's been 10 years. So,
Okay.
I've built up my business. I still have it. I've got my hands in a lot of other things too. So, I mean, it's a cool journey, like it's, a true business. It takes some time, some work, but like, it really is. I'll be honest, I've done a lot of other things. I think that's kind of the other part of it too. Like when you get in, then, you're always kind of, what else can I add? And what else, like there's always stuff, right? That you can, implement or go from there. But nothing has truly been as hands off from a passive perspective, once it gets built as this, where I literally can like do the work up front, get the stuff ranked, rented, doing other things or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's been a cool journey.
All right. You've been doing that for what, for 9 years now?
Yeah, I'd say like almost 10. So,
Almost 10?
Yeah, because the twins are going to be 10. And I think I don't remember exactly, but I was like literally just had them. So.
Okay. Actually, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
In these 10 years, how have that changed? How has the business changed?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. listen, I'll be honest. I don't think there's kind of two parts to this. I don't really think that the model has changed that much, right? Like I think that
Okay.
technology has obviously changed in sense that there's a lot more of it, back from
Okay.
when
Yeah.
we started. There's a lot of tools that I think are almost to our advantage, to be honest,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I mean, I remember like my first site and niche was pest control, which I hate bugs, but like it just kind of,
Okay.
I mean, it was just one of those things. I went in super naive, I did what I was told. I followed the videos and I'm like, oh, what should I do for a niche? And I ended up having to call a pest control company because I had sugar ants. Like, and in Oregon, it's very prominent,
Okay.
the rain.
Mhm.
But I literally just said, oh, like, okay, like I'll research it. I did it. And that was my first site. I got it up and
Okay.
went. I was making, I don't know, $500 a month, whatever from that. But like, I had to write all of that content by hand. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah. And, we just didn't have the technology back then because of course I could have paid somebody, but listen, I didn't want to, I didn't have the money to, I wasn't working anymore. So I, had to do it all by hand, which again, it's not that difficult, but it still sucked. And now I can literally get a website up in like a couple hours with the tools we have, so to that advantage, it's better. I think that people kind of are led to believe that, oh, it must be saturated or this or that or whatever. And I don't agree with that.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Is it
Yeah.
saturated?
No, because if you think about it from like the way that we operate and do this, right? Like we're going at a local level. So
Mhm.
zip, okay. I mean, I don't even know the amount in the US. I think it's like 70,000 plus, somewhere around there of different zip codes. And if you think about all the different industries new, right? 10 years is a long time for new stuff to come in, like all that. There's so much opportunity. I mean,
Mhm.
and just being realistic with this, not everyone comes in to do this and
Okay.
wants to build this massive $1 million agency, right? Like that was never my goal, to be honest. Like I wanted
That's my goal.
okay, that's amazing. That is amazing for you. But I love it. Like, but that's the beauty of this, right? Is like you really can make it your own. And for me personally, I mean, listen, I had newborn twins and I had a 2-year-old. Okay. Like my life, my daughter's almost 13, they're almost 10. I thought it'd get easier.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
So, I mean, for me, it was just making money, right? Obviously to make the world go round. But like, I really needed my life to be flexible. And that's what was more, I needed that to live and survive.
Okay.
I built up my business to over like 50 grand, I think was the highest month, at one
Oh,
point.
that's not bad at all.
No, I know, but
very
like it just like it started and then it just kept going and I'm like, oh shit, okay, like this, like it was just I didn't have the goal and ambition to like get to that level.
Mhm.
Right? But then to be honest, when you reach those levels, there are other things that happen, right? I mean, making that amount of money, it does require some time. I mean, you're managing, there's a lot of stuff going on. And
I understand. I understand.
I was just like, I scaled back, to be honest, because I was doing a lot, like I was doing more agency style. So I was like SEO clients, I did like ads, things like that. And I'm
Okay.
like, I'm just over it a little bit. Like I wanted to focus back to the main part, which was my lead gens where it was very hands off, and so I did. But that's the beauty of this, right? I don't need money. Like I'm good. I'm very content with my life. I don't need a Lambo.
Good. Okay.
So my point with all of this is that I have personally probably like, I don't know, it's 27, 28 lead gens, right? That are renting.
Okay. Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm
Okay.
not really like I'm good. Like I don't need like I do other things too. You have wealth, you start doing investing in other proper, right? Like there's so many things you can start doing that kind of, fuel that other side of it. So if you think about it from a numbers term, right? If I've been doing this 10 years, I have, it's 28, but I'm not
Okay.
sitting there having 500, 1,000 properties that everyone thinks that everyone has because
Mhm.
everyone's goals are just different, and
I understand.
So there's tons, it's not saturated at all. I think you just have to know what to look for, and especially we'll
Okay.
teach that. You know, you go through due diligence, you're gonna learn, hey, like, is this super competitive? Is this not competitive? And you get to make that determination of if you want to kind of go into that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Actually, when I was asking you about how that, how it has changed, I was also asking you, what about Google? One of the things I think I have read is the fact that Google does not allow a call forwarding. So.
No, that's not true. So, well, being honest, like Google Ads uses call
Mm-hmm,
forwarding. So that's not like like Google Ads has call forwarding because they have to be able to track, right? Like what's going
mm-hmm,
on with
mm-hmm,
you.
mm-hmm.
So in the sense of Google, what I could say have changed, I do think, listen, back in 10 years ago, it was probably easier to get a map listing up, things like that. They just didn't have the red tape around certain things that they do now. I think the easiest way to explain that is I used to have to do one step, maybe now I have to do four, right? Like, and
Okay.
it's doable. And I'm not saying with everything, but SEO is SEO. It's content,
Okay. Yeah.
backlinking. I do think Google puts a lot more emphasis on value, right? Like, so you like, again, it was very simple back then. Like I could have a little one page crappy site and
Mm-hmm.
it could rank, right? Now Google's like, oh, like, you know, their bar just got a little higher, right? With expectations,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it's not, you know, it's not like it's a game changer, I'd say, you know.
How much more work do you have to put into, your sites now to get them ranked?
Yeah, I don't really, again, I don't think it's okay. If it's more work in the fact of, hey, maybe you had one page and now you have five, but I do
Mm-hmm.
think, like I was saying with the tools, that kind of correlates the workload,
Okay.
right? Like, you
Okay.
know, if I had to do it back then, yes, it would take a lot longer, but I have so many tools available that are like doing it for me in a sense that I don't really
Okay.
think that much more work, you know?
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about the tools that
Yeah,
either
yeah.
are provided? Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Hold on, I'm gonna put
Okay.
this.
I'm taking notes, okay?
Yeah, no, go for it. All good. What do you do right now for work?
I am a real estate investor, really. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I am doing a program right now. Usually what I do really is I don't like renovation and stuff like that. So what I do really is I buy undervalued asset
Okay.
and I kind of spruce them up a little bit and I
Yeah,
turn around and I resell them. The goal is not, my goal is not really to make a lot of money
yeah,
from one, but to have a couple to make the amount I'm
yeah.
targeting. But right now, okay, I am actually, I belong to a group they call them
Okay.
wholesalers in real estate. Okay.
Mhm.
And it's a program. It's a mentorship program. Okay. So that's why I said I have access to a lot of people. And,
Yeah,
most of these people are looking for lead, okay, for
yeah,
leads. And I know that I am not the kind of person that really like calling people, cold calling and stuff like that. So I did this program really to see really where I'm strong at, really
mhm,
in that way, and how I would be able to generate a lot of leads. Or if there was any way I could generate leads by myself without being
yeah,
involved in anything else. But the thing is, that's not true. I need a way to generate leads. And not, I don't think I really need to generate leads for me, but I can turn around and make a business out of it to these people that need leads. You see what I'm saying?
correct. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Listen,
So
there's so many different ways to do the model, you know, and I think that's,
yeah.
again, goes back to the saturation thing we talked about. You're coming in and your idea of this, right? It's different
Mhm.
than what mine would be, you know, in that sense. So like that just shows there's just so much opportunity. You just got to really look at the skills that you're learning. And I think if
Okay.
you dive
Okay.
down to that, we're teaching you how to drive traffic, right? And
Okay.
like,
And And by the way,
Right.
I also have a background in technology, so
Oh, cool.
it's not like it's out of the blue for me. So
Yeah.
and I'm
Hey, you're
trying to
better than
match.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I knew how to get on Facebook, send an email. You know what I mean? Like I was like, what is this? Um, so this is where we build our websites on. So
okay.
you don't have to use snaps. You can, if you have, technology background more than, us, fine. We're not trying to be web developers, things like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just we need the asset, right? To produce. And like this is the key
Okay.
to get there.
And, and
But
I do have access to a web generation tool, okay?
yeah.
Just to
So
let you know. Okay.
however, yeah, again, it doesn't matter. This is what we use, so I'll use that, this for the demonstration of it, but like you can utilize whatever you want. So if you like
Okay.
whatever platform you're on, so be it, doesn't matter. My point is there's hundreds of templates, right? Like again, I have to design every single one by scratch, and it was drag and drop, but still it took long. And now it's like, okay, I'm gonna go into whatever,
Yeah.
roofing or, review sites. What's this? Tech company? Fine. So, I click on it, it builds it out for me. I'm going to change the colors, change the pictures, right. And it's all good. But we have, obviously all these from a, template standpoint. We also have AI that's built in, to
Okay.
websites, if you wanted to utilize this. And then also with the tools on ePay, let me go back to his site.
AI is new to me, okay? I don't have any background in AI.
Yeah. So it's okay. I didn't really either, but like we have all these email scrapers, keyword research tools, content writer.
Oh,
There's
really? Okay.
so much stuff that you can utilize. And again, we're still all in the business, right? So like we use this for our own good when we just kind of, hey, you guys use it too, that kind of
Okay.
thing. So
Okay.
yeah, there's just a ton of, but being honest, like I think everyone likes to overcomplicate life and, me included, I've done it before, but I mean, this business model is very simple. You build a site,
Okay.
get it up,
Mm-hmm.
you have leads come through and you rent them out.
Okay.
Like that's
Okay.
the end goal.
SEO wise, do you guys have any is SEO already built into the tools that build the sites, or do you guys teach any SEO, do you do any SEO training?
Oh yeah, I'll show you. Let me get back. I have so many
Okay.
tabs open. Sorry. I'm like,
Fine.
I'm getting married in a month, actually at Dan's house. So I'm doing a bunch of stuff right. It's the last.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, let me find the tab and then I'll show you. SEO, I mean, listen, that's the core of this because you have to know how to get it to the top, right? Like, I mean, there's what good is a website if you can't find it,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So, here, this is the course, by the way. So what you're looking at. And I can break it down for you in a second, but you can see like optimize, just like think the 5th module. It's the biggest, right? It's the meat of what we're teaching. And we also have our live calls twice a week in the Facebook group.
How long is the call? How long are all the calls?
They range, right? I think it just depends on what we're going over, but like, I'd say they're usually like an hour to an hour and a half. And ePay usually does one a week. One of us usually will kind of chime in and do the others. It really just depends on who's available. And I think also too, everyone kind of has their own little specialties, if you want to put it, you know what I mean? Like ePay is just really techie and he really knows SEO. I mean, he really does. I mean, that's his lane, I'm really good at other stuff. And, Dan and a lot of other leaders have been around for a while. So we all just kind of piggyback, off of each other of like, hey, I'm going to teach you guys this because, this is what I've excelled at, or my prospecting techniques or whatever the case is. So they're twice a week. They're all recorded. They've been recorded from 2017 on. So you have access to all of that. Like if you, let's say you want to know more about backlinking. Okay. Like you just it's gonna pull up, any relevant posts, but like,
Yeah.
here's a video, a live that Ipe and I did back in 21. I was trying to be
Okay.
too, so.
Hey.
But it didn't work out, obviously. But yeah, so like this is a great one, right? I mean, there's nuggets in here. We really go over real live stuff, not just
Mhm.
the cheerleading, hoorah, go change your life. I mean, we all know it. You need to be watching these and be able to take it away, right? And go implement, into your business. So, yeah, so those are every Tuesday and Thursday at
Okay.
4:30 Pacific.
Mhm.
I'm Coast. I think you are too, right? Like,
I'm in Eastern. I am
okay.
in the DC area.
Okay, cool. I'm in Florida now, so I'm the same
Okay.
Eastern, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
7:30, our time.
Okay.
But again, you can't make it, it's fine. They're all recorded. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of content in there. But the course itself, right? How it'll operate, and again, I don't know what courses you're in, but I'm sure similar style, of this. It's all self-paced, but
Okay.
you have check-ins. So you'll get a Zoom
Mhm.
link you can book one-on-ones with. And I like to say, hey, like get through X, Y, and Z, and then we'll hop on and go over things together, right?
One second. You said um once I start, I can contact if I have questions, if I have issues, there are people I can contact.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%. That's one thing I'll
Okay.
say, like you can literally go, this is my calendar. So I don't
Mhm.
really think about my calendar a ton. Like if I talk to you like this, right? Like right now, you'll
Mhm.
have my link.
Okay.
We have a relationship, all good. I just don't post it publicly, for other
Okay.
people, or else I would never have a life. But like this is
Okay.
all available to you. Like, and if you need me at a different time, like just shoot me a Facebook message, all good, right?
Mhm.
Be flexible. But yeah, there's no limit to them. I think in all reality, from the years I've been kind of coaching, if you want to put it that way, students almost phase out of me. Like, you need me a lot in the beginning, I think. It's that hand holding, that reassurance. It's like a baby,
Mhm.
and then you
Mhm.
kind of,
Mhm.
okay, now you're walking. Great. Like you
Okay.
got, so because this model is so rinse and repeat, like, and I think that,
Okay.
and when you reach 10K, right, there's going to be different issues that come up, more money, more problems sometimes, so it's like, oh,
Yeah.
we got to figure this out now. So then maybe we kind of, touch base a little bit more, right? Back
Okay.
in the
Okay.
realm. We've all
How
been there.
how
We know the
uh-huh.
problem. So we're here.
How big a team are you guys?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll be honest, like we're pretty informal from that standpoint. Like we all run our own businesses, right? But Dan, I've known Dan for 18 years. Tyler, there's a lot of leaders I'd say that kind of have their thing that they do. I mean, I'd say there's maybe like 10 of us, but
Okay.
I also know like when we started, like when I started this was back before we even did like these video group calls. Like it was
Mhm.
back in the day, we had to dial in and like pick up the phone. Like that was, I built my business on that, right? So the support and the mentorship and coaching has only excelled, right, from that point. And if we've all done
Okay.
it, you know, back where there wasn't much, being honest, to
So
where
we can definitely do it now because there's more,
if
we
you
have more
don't,
resources.
we got different problems. Like,
Mhm.
like if you can't make it work, like honestly, I'm very transparent and direct with people. Like
Mhm.
I have nothing different than you. I mean, I just don't.
Okay.
Right? Like, I did the same thing. I watched the course. I think the difference is implementation. It's a real business. You're not
Okay.
gonna get
Okay.
yes all the time. Like that's the reality of business, and we live in a society now that I think unfortunately puts a lot of expectations of this, and like I call like
Yeah.
the Amazon Prime effect. And I think I'm too, like we have expectations that, oh, I'm gonna start this and I'm gonna,
And
you
it's
know,
going to work right away.
and listen, I think it can, but like even if it took you, 1 or 2 months or 3 months, whatever. I mean, okay, great. You're making passive money. This money has been paying me for 10 years. Like, where in the world could you say that with something else, And it's,
Listen,
yeah,
if I can make it work in
yeah.
in 3 months, for me, that's big.
Oh, that's
That's
great.
big.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay.
I did. I mean, listen, it was nothing to write home about, you know what I mean? But I got my first client in probably, I don't know, 7, 8
Right.
weeks. And like, that was me working with a 2-year-old and newborn twins, like I didn't put a lot of time into it is my point.
Okay.
I probably didn't put a lot of time in the business to really scale probably until like a year and a half after I started. And I was making probably around 2 grand a month by like 6 months in, compounded right through that.
Okay.
But again, for me, my goals were different. I didn't really care. I was like, great, 2 grand is awesome. Teachers don't make a lot of money anyway. So like I was stoked and I was at home. So I was
Okay.
able to kind of balance. But then I needed to make more money. So I had to figure out,
You scale it up.
and I did, and it was boom,
Okay.
boom, but it's always
Fine.
easier to go from 5 to 10 than
Mhm.
it is to go from 0 to 5, right? The beginning is always the
Harder.
hardest, the
Yeah.
first
It
client,
takes
whatever.
time. And that I understand. But among among your new students that
Mhm.
really put themselves that really get into it, what is the percentage of success, you would say?
Okay, I'll say this. I've gotten this question and I say it in the fact of what is success, right? I mean, I think that's very opinionated. It's like, again, it goes to success to me is 2 grand a month, but is that success? You know what I
Now,
mean?
success for me is actually at the beginning. Success for me is at least uh, uh, at least some return on your investment.
Yeah,
Not
okay, great.
yeah.
Honestly, I would say the people that are consistent, because this is a business, right? Like, I would say that percentage is extremely high. I don't have exact numbers, so I'm not going to just put
Okay.
a number because it's just
Okay.
not who I am. But the reason why people fail, from what I've seen, like doing this, is themselves, in the fact that, you know, they don't want to treat it as a business. They want it, but like they see like our lives a little bit and they're like, well, this is, I mean, again, it's the iceberg effect, right? Like, oh, I don't really work that much anymore, to be straight up. Like, I just don't. I don't have to though, but I did, right? I put in the
Okay.
time. I built that. Like, I had the late nights. I did what I needed to do to get to that level. But like, again, there is work involved. I'm not saying that it's backbreaking work, but like, you're going to spend some time doing it. So I think that's where I see people kind of give up on themselves. They're very likes to be uncomfortable, and we all know that. But I tell people, I'm like, you don't like your situation, so you're uncomfortable. Wouldn't you rather be uncomfortable doing something you can actually like make money? Like, yeah, you're gonna, maybe you're gonna have to spend 2 hours tonight and get this done, but like, this is an income producing activity. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
rather than watch your Netflix show or, all the procrastination stuff we all do. But,
Right. Okay.
again, there's so many ways that I've made money from this that like, I didn't even know I could, until I got in and learned the skills. Right. And I think that's the biggest thing. Opportunities started opening for me when I knew how to do the work, and it really wasn't that hard,
Okay. When you say there are so many ways
Yeah.
so many opportunities that you had and you didn't know that you had. What are you talking about? Is it? No, go ahead.
No, well, okay. So like, what I think that, because I try not to like confuse people. But like, when you guys learn about this, you're like, oh, I build a site, I get it rented, and that kind of, it's the rank and rent model in a sense,
Mhm.
I've made money from getting SEO clients, meaning I don't have the ownership, okay, but they pay me. All right, that's another whole revenue stream. I've gotten into just, products or e-commerce from this. Like when
Okay.
COVID was going on, Dan, myself, Ipe, I don't know, a few of us others, we ended up getting into PPE products. Mind you, none of us we're not in medical sales. We know nothing about it, but we did know how to connect the dots, right? And like, that's the biggest, that's the biggest thing,
Okay.
opportunities like that come about, and you have the skills in those situations that you can help and monetize, right? So like
Yeah.
those things that again, nobody knew that was going to happen. I didn't know when I 5 years prior when this all was going down, but like I was able to do that because I had the skills and I knew how to do it from that. So
Okay.
yeah, there's just a lot. I've sold domains for money. I mean, there's just, again, if you're
Yeah.
creative, you're good. Like, I mean, and that's what the group is for. Like, there's just so many minds that are kind of like all coming together and just, oh, hey, I did this, right? And they're like, oh my God, that's a great idea. Like, but it doesn't affect their business, right? So it's not like we're all, chiming after the same thing, where in a lot of other models, it can be that way. So nobody's willing to share, and it's not helpful. With this,
Okay.
there's so
Okay.
much opportunity. I am not worried about you coming in, like I hope you do. There's no way that we could ever service a fraction of what's available. Like it's just not
Yes.
possible, in that regard. So plenty of pie to go around with that.
I believe you.
No, hey,
And
hey,
again, listen.
I have
Okay,
nothing
if
to
I
hide, like I do it. I love Dan, I think he's an awesome dude. I've changed my life from this. I'm beyond grateful. Again, it's work, and it's not always butterflies and rainbows, there's nothing else I could imagine doing that's going to allow me the freedom and the money side of it too. Like I said, I mean, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. That's a
Okay,
hard thing.
that's a goal for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Besides my
and look
kids,
what
right? The kids are like,
exactly.
not 18 yet, so I have to like, but I think if anything, that scares me the most of losing. I just can't imagine going back to a job. Yeah, I can't.
No,
Like, just could never.
I understand. I understand. But I mean, once once you are accustomed to your lifestyle, there is no way you would want to go back to the old one.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I
All right.
mean, that's kind of the gist of it, honestly. Like, you get the course, right? You go through the modules. Oh, I'll say this too. The course itself is probably around 40 hours from start to
40
finish.
hours. Do you have like milestones? Do you have like cover this and then we have this
Yeah.
you have to be able to do this. Go ahead. Tell me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't say there's not like a do not pass go kind of thing, like I like to help from a coaching perspective. Like, this is what I tell you. I'd say, I want you to
Okay.
get through these 3 sections. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want you to stop here, and you're going to go to my calendar and
Mm-hmm.
book a call, and then we'll hop on and go over like what you've learned, because I like
Okay.
to solidify. I operate in the mindset of like, if I get like the big picture, I get really overwhelmed, right? And I think like if you start to chunk it out, okay,
Mm-hmm.
boom, boom, boom. Like you start to understand your process, it just simplifies the whole thing. And it's not
Okay. Okay.
daunting, you know, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, like what am I, all those things. So yes, in that sense, I like to kind of guide you. But again, this is your business. So I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here for advice of what I
To guide. Mm-hmm.
works. There's some people that join and like, listen, I don't hear from them. They don't want to talk to me. Okay, fine. You don't have to. Like, it's all good. Like I'm not here to babysit you, but I just hope people know that, there is a bunch of support. And,
Uh-huh.
I do think that's why all these courses that you've seen, right? I mean, I could name off 5 of them. right off the top of my hand, like they came, look at the success, right? Success leaves clues, you know, look at what they've been able to build
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
of not, and I think the skills are all the same, right? In a way, it's the coaching. It's that side of it that creates things and helps with that. And I think that that's
Okay.
something that we've really excelled in, you know, throughout.
Okay. Can you go back to the course and
Yeah.
go over the different parts
For sure.
and yeah.
Yeah. So like you have 7 main sections. Okay.
Okay.
And each one kind of builds on each other. So
Okay.
you have like this one, which is like your get started, you know, welcoming you, all that kind of stuff.
That's fine.
Foundations. So like, actually, I'll let you watch a few minutes of a video. You can kind of see how it's,
Okay.
so
with this new skill set that you're acquiring. Specifically, I want to talk about financial goals, but obviously I understand financial is just one piece of the pie as a human being. And we have different things that really drive us as humans. So I also want you to take note of the other areas of your life, like your family and your fitness and your faith and some of the things you want to do for fun. And I want those to also be incorporated into your goals. Now, many of those things, the finances are the crux that allow you to take control of those other things. Not all, but definitely finances play an integral role in the rest of our life, in our time that we have to spend with our family, or the time that we have the ability to go and have fun and enjoy life. And so many of those different things, finances can have a drastic effect on. And so I want you guys to start with some basic projections. First and foremost, I want you guys to fill out what's your monthly goal. And don't use any commas in this calculator. Just go ahead and use the raw number, so it can calculate out all the way. In addition to that, there's going to be some rounding that is done because obviously you can't have 1.4 appointments. Numbers are pretty darn accurate, but understand we do some rounding in this calculator as well to get you as close and to just really give you a mental picture of what you need to do in order to pull this off. So go ahead and fire in your monthly goal. I like people having really big goals, but I also want them to be clear on the work that's going to be involved in getting to those goals. Okay, so this is going to get us clear on that. So I'm going to throw in $10,000. Obviously, you guys have not got your first client, most likely, if you're at this stage in the training, unless you came with some previous experience. So you don't have really an idea of what your average client's going to be worth. But there's a couple things I want to tell you here. Your average client value is going to change over time. As you get more skilled in this skill set, your client value will most likely go up. And so I want you to use this goal setting calculator on a monthly basis as your numbers change. But for the sake of helping you kind of do some basic projections, I believe that any client between the numbers of $300 to $600 is on the very, very low end, to the point where, you know, that you might not even want to mess with them unless you're just getting rolling and you really need to cash flow your business. And then kind of a mid-level client.
anyways, we could, but like you get the gist of it. Like that's kind of how they're laid out. We really try to you know, go through it that way. You know, you have different tools, so calculators, you know, things like that. I want you implementing along with the video. Okay. And then the next section, right? So this is like back in business, monetization, you know, whatever.
Okay.
And this whole section right here, we start to get into the technical side. So this is going into due diligence, which is $1 million question, niches. You know, I talk about that all day long. And everyone thinks that there is like some golden ticket niche. It's not. It really is not. Like I have seen so many different industries and, you know, things that I just had never even heard about, right? So like, it's all just about doing your research, right? Of where you're going, doing I'm sure very similar to like what you do. You know, you just need to do the research behind it because there's hidden gems everywhere, you know, for, you know, even in your line of work. So very similar to this. You're going to we go through these sheets together. So like, you'll have some help, you know, because again, this is where I think a lot of people get hung up is they just try to overthink it.
In upstate New York.
And just relate it back to my story about the pest control. That's how simple it was for my first year, you know, like, okay, sounds good. I checked the numbers. It looked decently low and I went for it, right? Imperfect action. Like that's what keeps this model going. So you kind of have to switch your brain if you don't think like that a little bit, because people want perfection. And that's not this business. We're not in a black and white business. It's gray, you know, there's just it's
in the middle.
Correct. So you know, you'll go through all this, right? Niches. Once you have your niche, now you
Okay.
go to the build out because you got to know
Okay.
what you're building before you build. So, you know, then we go to the web builder. We're obviously going to teach on snaps, but you don't have to use it. Again, if you use a
Okay.
builder yourself, follow the layout. It's not that hard. I mean, there's so many
Okay.
web builders now. So as long as you're just, you know, going along with it, we'll get your call tracking system up. You know, you go into keywords, content, right? All that. Now you have a live site, right? Now it's up and running. It's on the World Wide Web. Now you need to get it to the page one, and that's SEO,
Mhm.
right? So that's
Okay.
all in here.
Okay. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
Snaps. Okay. The web building
Yeah.
tool.
Mhm.
It comes with the program.
Yeah, so we only have access, like no outsiders can like use a snaps. It was built
Okay.
for us and students to use. It doesn't cost like the only cost associated with you using it, you do have to pay for it's like 15 a month for the website, but that includes the hosting and you know, whatever. Like it's very, I guess, comparable to a lot of the other builders.
Mhm.
You know, if you have experience enough that I would like, if you told me that you feel confident in WordPress or things like that, I think it's cheaper to do that route because you can host like multiple sites on a hosting, you know, like
Mhm.
obviously it's more cost effective, but if you don't know it, you do not need to be wasting time, right? Because $15 in the grand scheme of it is nothing when these sites are paying
Mhm.
500, 1,000, doesn't matter. So it's just dependent on your skill set. You know,
Actually, no. You know, what I really wanted to know is during during the mentorship program,
yeah.
we use snaps, right?
Mhm.
How long is the program?
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's for, I mean, you have access to this forever. So like
Okay.
Snaps is never going away because
Okay.
we have our stuff on it. You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
it's not like you have access to it all the time. Like everything that
Okay.
we offer, if you had joined 10 years ago, like you would still have the same access.
Mhm.
It's one time. We're not like a scale thing. You don't have to pay to be in the group. You don't have to pay for the
Okay. Okay.
not how we are. So
Okay. So after the program again, how long is the program? How long is the program?
well, I guess you put it if this is kind of what you're saying, this is the program of the course.
Mhm.
It's about 40 hours if you were to watch it from
Oh, okay,
start.
okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay,
But like
okay.
I guess you could say the program's really forever, right? Because I mean,
Okay, okay. I see.
yeah,
I see.
from
I
a
see. It's
coaching
not
and
like there is no I don't know. There is no structured stuff like, for 6 months you are going to do this, and then after that, that's finished, and then you can integrate the whole the whole community.
no, you're integrated
Okay.
immediately. Because
Okay.
I think
Okay.
you know, I know a lot of courses that have that tiered thing, whatever. I personally don't like that stuff. I think it's a little misleading.
Okay. Mhm.
Honestly. And also you have to have every piece of this to make the business work. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like you can't just know bits. Like you need to be able to access the group, the lives, the questions. And I
Mhm.
think
Mhm. Mhm.
especially in the beginning, I think that's the most vital. So yeah, you have it's, you know, and any updates, okay, great. You know, you're not going to be asked to pay any more money, like at all. So
Okay. Besides of snaps, what other tools do we have a tool? Do you guys have a tool for call forwarding, voice over IP?
it's not voice. Well, it's
Not
internet.
voice over IP.
I'm not techie, so I don't know what the exact term of it is, but like I just know how it works. You know,
Okay.
this is kind of the platform. So
Okay.
the dashboard looks like
Mhm.
all the calls, texts, emails, whatever get forwarded, you know, through this system. Now they're all
Okay.
recorded. You can read the text messages, like you can see everything that's going on because at the end of the day, those are your leads, right? That's your money. So you need to know what's happening. That's also your value to the client. Like when,
Okay.
hey, like I brought you X amount right? Like you need to pay me, or you, again, not like that, but you get my gist. So,
I got you.
but like so everything goes through here. We can get numbers
Mm-hmm.
almost anywhere in the world. I'm not going to say every place, but almost.
Okay.
I mean, students all over that, you know, so international is not a problem either. And they're it's $15 a month. And there's also, and the reason why this is different, there's so many functionalities with this that are, it's not just like a Google voice number. Like we have, you know, a round robin system. So let's say you had 2 clients, right? Let's say your lead flow is so heavy that you need 2 people. Okay, great. You can implement that and set that up through CallSling.
Okay.
So it's again meant to have the features that are truly built for the lead gen business, in the fact of passiveness and hands off. You can invoice from this. So if you had a client that was on like a pay per lead deal, you know, okay, great. Boom, bing, you know, like it does all that for you. Like you're not sitting there tracking everything. Like it's all, you know,
Okay.
automated as much.
It's done for you.
I don't have
Okay.
time for that.
And you can check it out. Yes.
Yeah. So
Understood.
that's all there.
Understood. Okay.
So that's $15 a number. And again, we don't have like no other, you know, it's not an outsider thing. It's for us, you know, that use it. Other part about those tools, especially because they're ours, if something happens, right, you can just email us and you're not having to like jump through 5 different hoops to get help, right, and support, because it's like, I mean, we can't have that. Like, that's the biggest thing that, you know, I've learned from Dan. You got to have control of your business. And, you know, the moment that control is gone, that's a problem. So like you know, we've learned that, and we like to kind of really keep everything as inclusive as possible, because at the end of the day, this is our livelihood, right? It's our money that are going through these websites, these calls, you know, things. And I need to know what's happening with it. I can't be reliant on 50 million outsourced things, because at the end of the day, what is it you really have? You know, at that point, you don't. So, so yeah, those are, and then the tools I showed you on ePay's site, those are available, like the content writing tool, keyword search. So there's tons. I mean, that you can have, that you will have access to, basically, to make your life pretty easy.
Okay. And they are they all incorporated into, I don't know, into an environment?
Yeah, I mean, like, you mean in the course, or?
No, not in the course. Is it a platform?
Oh, I see. The platform is not all, so CallSling and Snaps are together, but ePay has built his own. He has, I don't know what he kind of does his own thing with those tools that he's built. So, I mean, you'll have all the links but it is not a traditional, like, one platform, but we try our best to kind of keep it together. But I mean, some of them just are different and built on different things, you know, technology.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so SEO, I'll finish this, you know, you'll go through all, right? Then you go into Google Maps. So we'll teach you, you know, all about that. And then kind of wrap it all up, right? Now we get to the money. You know, you got to know, you know, how do you, again, like, all these different ways to make money, you know, there's tons. Like, this is a great video, the slivers. I love this one. Like, I mean, Dan is one of the most unique people I've ever met in my life. But even like the way he just thinks about stuff, you know, it really has opened up my mind to like think outside of the box. And there's nothing that I'd be like, oh yeah, that can happen, you know, because I've just seen so much where I'm like, I don't even question it anymore. Where like traditional society would be like, you can't do that. Like, yes, no, we can. I don't know how yet, but I'm sure we can. Like, but like, it is, you know, that's the beauty of all this. So again, you're just learning a ton. And I'm probably missing a ton saying it as well, just off the top of my head. But, you know, I've definitely, Yeah, it's not hard. It's not a hard business. You know, there's work involved, so I'll never shy around that. But as long as you're willing to be coachable, listen, follow what we tell you, it's worked, you know? So
Okay,
that's it.
follow the system.
Yeah, trust the process, you know what I mean?
Trust the
Like,
process.
yeah. And I just, like I said, I'm very like, I'm not a pessimistic person at all, but I think I'm realistic. I'd like to say that.
Okay.
Like, I really do. I'm not, my head's not in the clouds kind of person. Like, I really am not that way,
You're
but
practical.
I am very practical, yes. And I'm
Okay.
logical. Like, I just think about it, you know, try to go A to Z and just like, okay, like this makes sense to me, right? And like, if it makes sense in my head, I'm cool with it, because if I understand it, then everything in life is a calculated risk, you know, in my opinion. Marriage, dating, you know, like, you know, like, so as long as I can justify it to myself, right? It is, you know, it works. And that's kind of how I've,
Yeah.
you know, done this business. I just said, I don't really know how I'm going to do this yet, but I'm going to, and I'll figure it out. And I have people in my back pocket that I can help. And I think that was great.
Exactly. And that
too.
is important. That is important, because whatever you don't know, you can rely on other people to know what you don't know.
Exactly. And everyone thinks they have to know everything. And I'm like, no, you don't. You need to know enough, right? And you will learn it. But like,
Okay.
that's life. You need to experience it yourself. That's the best learner, you know, is experience. And that's the thing. I mean, I have 10 years of experience, so I can speak to this, you know, in that regard. But like, to be honest, you know, once you watch these videos, you really do have the same knowledge base as I do, right? I just have,
Yeah.
you
More
know?
experience.
Yeah. So that's it. But yeah, I mean, that's us in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So
All right. Okay.
yeah, it
There
makes
is
sense.
one thing. Huh?
Does it make sense?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay, cool.
One thing we haven't touched. How much is the program?
Yeah, I was like, I know. Cost of the course, and like I told you, it's one time, okay? So meaning it's forever, like all that. It's 7,000, it's 6,000.
7,000.
Yeah, it's 6,000 if you pay for it in full.
Okay.
We've got some options, like I, you know, can talk about those, but you also get 6 done for you sites. So we will build,
Okay.
yeah, we'll build your first 6 lead gen sites for you. So what I mean by that is, like, when we go back to this section, right here, and we go through these due diligence sheets and we figure out what niches we want to get into, you're going to tell, you know, me or Ipe, whatever, hey, I want to do like Las Vegas limos. I wouldn't do that, but you get my, like, okay, we'll build that site for you. So like, it's content, it has on-page SEO. It's almost like a Costco ready to bake dinner, you know, like now when we hand it to you, all you have to do is put it in the oven, which is get it ranked. So you almost skip down to this part. So that's what it is.
Actually, I forgot to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Once we build our sites, do we have to, are we the ones responsible to register them to the search engines and all that stuff?
Yeah. So the reason being, now I'm going to say this too. Everything in this business, if you really wanted it to, can be outsourced. Okay. Like, meaning I obviously know how to do all this, but I don't build sites anymore. I just, you know, I have people to do it for me. I've leveraged, and that's something I've learned from Dan as well. Like, you have to learn how to leverage people and time, or you're never going to scale. So I did. And, the reason why you're going to rank it is because it is a very continual, small daily action, but you know, again, the control and everything that's happening with your site, right? You can pay people to do it. Honestly, I don't think it's that hard. Again, it's, you know,
no, it's not. It's not.
You know, you're going to learn every piece of it, and then, yeah, just follow the directions. I mean, like, that's literally what I did. I, you know, went through, I literally, boom, boom, boom. Okay, followed this video, got links, and then I started seeing, oh, wow, I did that. Okay, like, and then, you know, you see your site on the first page and you're like, holy crap. Like it was very
Yeah.
empowering, you know, like I was like, wow. I mean, from somebody that had no background, and then all of a sudden I have a website that I just built that's like on the first page of Google. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it was cool. So you'll
Okay.
have,
Okay. Another question, actually, they keep popping, okay?
okay.
Let's say I choose you know, the industry that I'm thinking right now, which is real estate,
Yeah.
and it's an industry that, let's say, nobody else, you know,
Mhm.
is working on. What happens to building backlinks? What happened to, you know, my ranking?
Oh, well, that's, I get your question. It's a good question,
Mhm.
but you don't have to have, okay, how do I say this like in a non-technical way? There's so many ways to do backlinks. There's not just one.
Mhm.
So like, we're going to teach you probably 10, you know, different methods.
Okay.
You'll be fine. Like there's, you know,
Okay. Okay.
and believe me, real estate is definitely fine. Like a lot of people, you know, and I could even give you, I'm not in real estate personally. It's something I did real estate, worked with a real estate agent a long time ago.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna lie. I just didn't like working with real estate agents. So like, I just
I
didn't
understand.
teach. I said, no, I'm good. I don't want to. I like doing this. I liked my other ones better. I think I liked the construction world. Don't know why. I just gravitated towards
Mhm.
it. You know, home remodel, plumbing, things like that. Real estate
Okay.
agents, I think for me, and you know the industry, so it's a different world for you.
Mhm.
But yeah, you know the pain points. I just didn't, you know, and I think you can educate and knowledgeably understand what they need. That's a huge selling point within itself, right? I mean, you already have the background, you know, and you can easily come in and you know what to look for. I didn't.
Okay. Okay. But don't forget, I am not a real estate agent,
No, you're
actually,
find the house.
but yeah, and you know, I've never worked like one, so there are still a lot of things I don't know. That's what I want to say. That it's not like I know everything. Excuse me.
You know, it's okay. You know more than me, but like, I mean, the thing is, it doesn't matter if you don't even have to have anything relevant in the niche. You know, the point is, you know enough about it to build the sites. You know you know, whatever you're like, if you were
No,
building
I
it for
know.
people in your industry, what they're looking for, right? So that's only to your advantage. And yeah, I mean, you can do this anywhere, right? Like, I'm sure you
Right.
guys, yeah, have people
Okay.
everywhere. So
Um, another question.
yeah.
Okay, tell me, and it's not like I'm trying to see, where I should go. I know that there are programs that are less expensive than yours.
Okay.
Okay, why do you think I should go with your program? I'm trying to make a decision, okay?
No, for sure. Listen, I don't know. I obviously don't know which ones you're talking about, right? So I can't, if you tell me, I can say if I know or seen them, you know, and I could give you my feedback personally on it. I will say
I know,
from,
hold on a second, let me give you an example, okay? I know that Nick Wood has this pay-per-click program, and there are also the programs. That's one of the programs, okay?
yeah, we taught
So
Nick.
I
So
know.
yeah, I think, to your point originally, right? Like, and I know Nick very well. I know Corey
Mhm.
Long well. I know Josh Osborne well. Believe me, I literally flew home from Greece to go to his baby shower. Like, we're all pretty, you know, in this world. There's really not many people that do what we do because we taught it. Like Dan is really the
Yeah,
OG, you know, when it comes to it.
I know, yeah.
But I do think that being realistic, everyone kind of has a little different take on how they teach it. So Nick's whole
Mhm.
model and philosophy is he basically kind of runs ads, right? And then it's like a pre-sell. We teach the same thing in here. Like it's the same
You
exact
do?
100%. Yeah. We taught him
Okay.
it. Taught him.
Okay, no, but what I'm
like,
saying is, what I'm saying,
yeah.
but this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is your model doesn't seem to have any Google ad. Okay, it's just you use SEO to raise your site as high as possible on
Sure.
on Google, and
We, yeah,
by doing that, that means people who are looking for you will find you. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? I didn't know that you guys were into pay-per-click and stuff
yeah.
like that.
So if you told me that if you came to me and you're like, I'm looking to be an ads expert, I would tell you this
Mhm.
is the course, right? Like, I think that we teach Facebook ads and we teach Google
Mhm.
ads enough to do what we are, like, enough to get what you need done. Okay. Like,
Okay. Okay.
if you were going to start running ads for clients, I would say, hey, you probably need to dive deeper, because I do think ads are a whole nother ball. Like, it's just a whole nother, entity. But
Mhm.
for the purpose of like what Nick is doing, because his model, and again, I know it works because I've done it. I mean, I helped teach that at one of our Vegas events. Like, it's,
Mhm.
call it the go fast, look sexy. Like, it's dumb, but whatever. But like, you basically get an ad up, because remember, like, SEO is going to take some time. That's just the reality. We can speed it
Mhm.
up,
Mhm.
but like,
Mhm.
the other thing is that you need to play the long-term game, which is SEO, with the short-term game if you want to, because the
Yeah.
short-term game is going to run out. Point blank, end of story. It always will.
Okay.
Ads are a monster to deal with, especially now. Like, I would never in my life base my business off running ads. They're volatile. They take a lot of time. I don't care what anyone says, they do. You have to be so dialed on your reach, your target, your copy, I mean, your funnel, because one
Mhm.
thing is going to cost you so much money, in mess ups. So that's why, from an SEO standpoint, you utilize the ads just long enough to leverage it. But you
Okay.
can also quickly get a client, right? Like, I mean, if you put up an ad, spend $100, get some leads, you have a client tomorrow, right? That's great. Now you're gonna funnel those. I mean, again, this is kind of going back to what I was saying, like, so many ways to monetize. I just don't like to
Mhm.
sit here and confuse people, because it's like, you're gonna be like, what? Like, I don't know what, because you haven't gone in yet, right? You don't know what it is. But I mean, listen, back to your original question. I think that I just know that the amount of support that we put into, I think, is
Okay.
pretty massive. I know our philosophies, obviously on a personal level too, because, I'm around. And I just think that, there's a reason why, like I said, all these people have been successful. It's because of what they learned, right? And I think they all
Mhm.
have a little
Mhm.
bit of a different way of running it, but it's kind of like, if you're gonna do it, would you rather learn from the original? It's, I mean, that's how that is what I want to learn from the person.
Mhm.
So, and same with like blah, 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 I can't talk. Josh Osborne. He definitely runs more of an agency style, is how I'd say.
Okay.
In
Okay.
Like, he's really big on doing like SEO deals and things. Again, those
Mhm.
are very lucrative.
Mhm.
Mind you, they really are. But here's the problem, and this is stuff I've ran into. You're still in the churn and burn of clients, and it's like, and this goes back to my goals. It's not about the money, right? Like, I want to make money,
Mhm.
but me, it's about, I need to have it and set it and go, right? I don't need,
Yeah.
I don't want to be owned, because when someone's paying you a lot of money, guess what? They expect a lot in return, and I don't,
Absolutely.
and as they should, which I understand, but there's
Mhm.
client expectations that come with that's when I was saying, when I scaled back, I'm like, I'm just over it. Like, I just don't want to, I don't need the money. I just want to go back to my lead gens. Like, I don't do anything with them. They're happy. They're content. They're doing their sales. I'm just sitting here managing, making sure that the phones are still ringing. Like, I mean, I don't have that, um, you know, expectation that I have to be so communicative from a client
Okay.
perspective. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I'd say. I mean, and I think also too, to end that, Josh and myself are very different people. Me and Nick are different, right? Corey's different. Like, I think you also figure out who you vibe with, and that's the reality too, right? Like Josh is very, how do I, like cheerleader, like that's what I think. He just like the hoorah rah, like all that kind of stuff. I don't need that. Like I'm very like not that way. Same with Dan, Ipe, we're all pretty like just real down to earth, chill people, and I think that you gravitate towards who you like, right? And some people need that. That's totally okay. But I just think we just like to get to the point and like
Yeah.
make money. So that's us.
To the point and make money. That's exactly what I'm looking.
Yeah,
Actually, I really have my business model in my head right now, and I'm so happy because I go like, oh, okay, I know exactly what I want to do with this.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
so would you say that all these people that are branching out from your training, would you say that you are the guys that have the most how do you say that? You have all the parts and they just implement one part of what you have taught them.
I think that we have, I love analogies, so I'm going back to it. I think that we all have the same white package, the same white gift. I think that ours has a red bow, theirs has an orange bow, theirs is a blue bow, and theirs is purple, right? I do
Okay.
think that when you really dumb down what we're teaching, it's all the same, okay? Like truly.
Okay.
SEO, I will say this, I know for a fact our SEO skills are beyond superior because look at Ipe's blog. I mean, that just tells you right then and there, like his blog ranks internationally for some of the most insane keywords. All students, they have to run ads. Why? Because, listen, if you're teaching SEO, you should mimic what you're teaching, in my opinion. And you should be able to do that. Well, if you're going to have an SEO course and teach on SEO, why are you running and relying on ads?
Yeah, exactly.
You know so
you might be able to do it at the beginning because
of course, we've used ads.
You need a clientele right from the beginning, but
Course.
eventually you shouldn't have to.
Well, you shouldn't have to, unless I just think that, again, we all know how much ads cost.
Yeah,
There's
costs.
money and so much work. And like, if the end goal is not to work, then why are we doing it? You know what I mean? Like, so I think that this really, like, this in itself proves the model. Like, this is, everyone finds us organically in some sense. So, it's just like, that's the kind of vibe we like that's why we call the course job killing, right? Like, we are not trying to go work another 40, 50 hours. Like, we want money that's going to come in so we can go fill our lives and our other passions or whatever else we want to do for the day, But yeah, I think, again, I just think that everyone, it's all the same stuff. I just think that they position it differently. Like I said, like they're going, like Josh is going to tell you to focus on SEO and like clients very quickly. Again, not right or wrong in some way. I just think personally that like it's yeah, you could make a lot of money very fast, but believe me, it's gonna burn fast too, and it happens because there is a lot of competition when it comes to agencies now. Everyone thinks, but guess what? When I own this limo site, guess who has the leads? Me. Like, I don't have to sit here and get a client. It's a completely different narrative. And I can be like, hey, do you want them or not? Like, and again, I can still have SEO clients, but I get both sides, right? And I think that that's very important. So yeah, I just think, again, I know Dan, I know Ipe, I know pretty much all of these. I do know all of these guys very, very well. And I just think that, like, I would never, I would I want to learn from the person that taught them. If they're making all this money, I'm gonna go to the top because they're gonna have more money. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely. I would, yeah.
yeah,
Eventually, I would like to be like coming from ePay and then maybe branch out too if I want to branch out. You see what I'm saying? Learning from the
that's the
top.
thing. That's the beauty of this, right? And like, we've all done it. And I've said this too. I mean, Dan has been trying to get me to do stuff for years, and I just don't want to, like, I mean, it sounds bad. I know I'm beyond capable, right? But, I don't really, it's just not a desire for me to
No,
get that.
if you are exactly where you want to be,
Yeah.
then you're fine. Yeah.
So,
We're
there's a
all
lot of
different.
stuff. There's a lot of stuff that comes with that world,
Mhm.
and I
Exactly.
think, I think I love the fact that I can live in my little corner and be happy,
Yeah.
be all the things, and not
And
have,
that's the most important thing, you know?
100%. I agree.
Living the way you want to live.
Yes. But yeah,
Ah.
you could be the next Ipe, you know what I mean? Like, that's
No, that's not actually, I'm not a very front person. I like I like leading from the back. I don't like being plastered everywhere and doing a lot of marketings and stuff. I like building stuff. Nobody
Yeah.
knows, but I'm collecting the money, and you can take, you can have all the publicity you want. I'm fine with money, okay? So
Yeah.
that's
I
that's
hear
the
ya.
way I am. Yeah.
Yep.
So
No,
okay.
sure.
All right. So
Cool.
let me the most important part for me, okay?
Yeah,
Everything you said was, is important, and you are in the price, because I have read a lot before having this
for sure.
this call. Okay, so it was about the price that I was thinking. Okay, you said 6,000 if it is paid upfront.
Correct.
There is no changes. If I said, like, what about 5? I can give you 5 right now. So, would you? Is it something that?
Listen, if you want to do this, I know listen, we've been on the phone like an hour. You've seemed like you've done enough research on this. If you are say, hey, I'm in, you want to go, well, I have $5,000 right now and you're ready, then that's fine. I'm okay with that. If you pay for it, if you pay for it in full, then that's okay. And I'll still give you the done for you sites, basically.
Okay. Okay. Actually, I wasn't talking about today, but can you give me a couple of days just to think about it? Would you be able to do that? And I will get back to you about it.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could how about Friday? I leave town on
Friday?
Friday. So
Friday is good.
why?
Friday is good.
Well,
I will contact you by Friday.
okay, sweet. Yeah, just shoot me a message. Is it okay? So
Okay.
is it just figuring out what are you like program you want, or like what is it? Like truly.
I am
You will
working
not
on
hurt my
something.
feelings, I promise. I just
Okay.
want so we're
Hold on a
transparent.
second. I am working on something right now that I need to finish because my head is not right at the and it's going to take me like I'm waiting for an answer like today or tomorrow. Okay. And
Okay.
I want that to be out of the way before I can say, hey, I'm ready to go. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's
for
all.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all.
cool.
Okay.
All right. No, I just want to make sure I did what you needed from me to answer your
Okay.
question. So
You
that's
did.
totally fine. I get it. I'm the same way.
Okay.
You see my tabs right now? Like that's my brain.
Oh, believe me, I'm worse than you. I'm worse. I have like and I don't only have one browser. I have like 3
Oh,
browsers.
I don't either, girl. That's down there. It's down there. I'm in like, I mean, my fiance looked at me the other night and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. Like, I just done. Like, I want to get through this next month and like never do this again. No, I totally understand. So you have my cell. That's the one we were.
Okay, I do.
The 904 one is me. So like,
Okay.
just shoot me a text. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. But yeah, I totally respect that and it's all good. So just keep me in the loop with it. And yeah, when you figure that out, we'll touch base.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. And actually I was like, I'm not a Zoom thing. I do Zoom usually. I kind of turn the video off. Okay. But I was like, but it was cool. It was cool doing it with you.
Yeah, listen, I think it just kind of, it gives you a good representation too of who we are. This is how we
Mhm.
operate. Like, we're very genuine people. Like, we are
Good.
very, you know, this is who I am. You like it, you don't, all good. You know what I mean? Like, this is
Yes,
who we
that's the
are.
way I am too.
Yeah,
Okay,
like, that's what you can get from all of us, very real.
fantastic.
And I think
All right.
that, that's why we do it. So anyways, okay. Well, hey,
All right,
we'll chat Friday then. Just keep me in the loop.
absolutely.
Send me a text and we'll go from there.
Uh,
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Have a good night.
Bye. You too. Bye-bye.